So let's do that, guys. Let us make a difference. Let's bring this to a reality, because people need to see this. Our generation needs to see this. The message is so important, and I know I've said it a million times, but anyone who has ever had a dream, anyone who's ever known that they've had potential, anyone who's ever been told they could not make it, this film is for them. This entire film is for them. And I believe that it can change their lives. And I believe that for those people, this could be the setting off point. This could be the thing that just clicks for them. It makes it just all come to life for them. And you know what? Like, that's incredible, but they need to be able to see it. They need to be able to see it. It will not happen if people wait around in inaction. If people are resigned to apathy, even in this stage of this project, this will not come to life. We need a combined effort from everyone out there. We need to make this happen. And I believe we can make it happen. And I think we can make a difference together. So let's stand together and let's be that spark. Let's be that catalyst of that starts off, that helps inspire people worldwide. And let's help bring this to life, bring this concept to life, because I know we can do it. I know we can do it. We've gotten this far. There is no reason why we cannot go all the way with this.
I really didn't want to make this video. I'm not usually one to stir pots or jump onto the drama scene, but lately, I feel like my hands have been forced. I want to begin this video with the fact that these last few months have been interesting on the side of Awakening and Ben Drowned, and I've recently put out some tweets saying that I've made my peace with the story. Some folks might wonder what peace needed to be made, or why I stepped down from being a moderator on the Awakening Discord, or maybe some other things they've been hearing through the grapevine. This video is going to be tackling some objective topics, and some emotional ones that I've been feeling for a while, but it isn't going to be some heated rant that lasts multiple hours putting Jen on blast. This is just the end sum of where I've been, and where I'm at now. Starting off, I do want to bring some extra attention to the end of Ben Drowned, to the month-and-a-half long hiatus where Jed fell off the face of the earth and let the mods defend for themselves. I talked about this in Awakening 5 quite a bit, and I still feel the way I did back then, just like how I felt back during the hiatus period of 2011. It's clear at this point that he hasn't really changed much in 10 years, and unfortunately, this fact was truer than we really could have expected. Now, the month of November was interesting, to say the least, in the fact that after the game was over, I expected him to be a bit more active on the server like how he'd been previously before starting the game up. I was excited to get to know him better and talk to him more as his moderator, but as we all know, that never happened. I only communicated with him a single time as a mod in the server, and it was when he ducked in for a moment to ask about stuff for a friend's server. Not acknowledging anything about the new mods, no real hello, just the question, answer, and then poof, gone. It had begun to feel pretty clear that his investment in the server was at its lowest possible amount. The server that which one of his Patreon rewards directly related to. And speaking of the Patreon rewards, there was the rub of the final role reward, which we still have people who have paid for this tier and have not received this reward. Now, obviously my assumption is that the people who paid for this reward are going to be getting it in the epilogue, but considering it's now February 1st, the now third deadline that he hasn't reached with this epilogue, I don't know if I can honestly say that I expect it anytime soon. Now, I understand that Jed has at multiple times stated he considers Patreon a tip jar, which is completely optional, which is totally fine. But the second you add rewards to it for an appreciation back to the player, it puts responsibility on your shoulders to fulfill those rewards, and this leads to some issues. The method revolts here. This is supposed to come out through the course of the Ben Drowned story, and it never did. Nothing we've seen from beginning to end constitutes this reward, so that's the one incentive to donate that's faulty. Final reward, again, this is pending, as eventually it'll come out, but honestly the later that it does come out, the less that it actually means. Moonchild role. And this one's definitely going to be a little contentious, as by donating a certain amount you could receive the exclusive role for the server. Didn't grant you any special benefits, it was just a neat role / color to have. Chad even went on record saying it was similar to an exclusive costume in like a loot box kind of reward. The issue here lies in the multiple times the Awakening server almost got deleted. Back during the run of the game in early September, the server had an issue with 2 of its mods that were revealed to be involved in illegal activity. I'm not going to get into the situation specifically, because that's unfair to the victims, and largely the situation is over. During this whole ordeal, the remaining mod team dealt with the Herculean task of keeping the server together, and helping the victims out, and overall becoming a much stronger community because of it. It was an extremely hard month that's left lots of open questions regarding the server. It was just after this time that I put in to become a moderator. I saw a community that was in shambles, and I wanted to try anything and everything to help put the pieces back together. Even though the game continued, things were still contentious between others in the server. Against Jad, against mods, against other users. It wasn't fully widespread, but it was enough to necessitate the mods being at the top of their game at all times. I've since learned that this September incident was extremely close to being the end of the server, just like that. And honestly, that realization puts into perspective just how much I'd loved Awakening. The things I'd learned here, and the friends I'd made were invaluable. And to consider all of that vanishing without a single word. I'll admit, it made me angry. But anger isn't a healthy emotion to give into. Nowadays, I'm just sad about it. I'm sad about how this had to be how the end of Awakening came about, because word has come up again that the server is nearing its final days. I'm sad I spent so much time and energy into something that could have easily vanished to the blink of an eye. Don't get me wrong, I'm still glad I got to make the Xenogears Explained videos. I've been wanting to make those for years. But now I can only see them as a bittersweet piece of my past. They were invaluable for getting me back into YouTube full-time and keeping me busy during the pandemic. But now they seem stained for what they lead to. Heartbreak and sorrow, when they used to be so full of life and mystery. The beginning draft of this video was a lot angrier. It was a lot ruder, and it probably wouldn't have been a good idea for me to post. But after thinking on it, all I'm left with is what Awakening will eventually become. Nothing. This video is going to end with a warning. If the word I'm hearing is accurate, and I'd give it a solid 90% chance, back up all you consider important inside Awakening. Add the people that you're in contact with. Forge connections outside of Awakening. And archive as much of the ARG as you can. Future archivers and retailers deserve to know what theorizing and Awakening was truly like in its heyday. That's all for this video, this series, and this point in my life. I'm putting an end to the official Ben Drown coverage on this channel. I will not be covering the epilogue, but I do plan on working on my Neo Moon Children projects very soon. Until then, you can find me over in the 12 Monoliths Discord server, where I'm currently starting up the 3rd season of my own game. And you might even see some familiar faces over there. I'm sorry that this video is different than what many of you were expecting, but I felt it was paramount that I speak my truth here, and I tell it in as objective a way as I possibly could. Catch you guys next time.